right, so right now we have Charlsey Etheridge, a singer-songwriter, and she is on the show today. Charlsey, thank you so much for phoning in and letting us have a little time to talk music.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so cool to talk to you. Charlsey is a Georgia girl, but you have not always lived in Georgia. You took a music route somewhere, didn't you?
I sure did. I took a long way to get back to here. Let's see. North Georgia, born and raised, and then left for college at 18 and never looked back, or never wanted to look back.
Yeah.
And so I was gone for about 17 years. I lived in Nashville for the majority of that time. And then I kind of got a little travel bug.
Mm.
And I just, it was the weirdest thing. I went on a trip to the Dominican Republic, and I came back and I felt like I was crawling out of my skin in Nashville. And I said, there's a lot of this world to see. I've put in 13 years here, and I'm gonna just kind of go see the world, right?
Yeah.
And so I sold my house in Nashville and went to Europe for about 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I went, stayed in Italy and Austria and Switzerland and Scotland. Met a lot of people along the way, and still friends with them to this day. And then I came back and decided to go the exact opposite way and went to Hawaii, and ended up living in Hawaii for about a year, and just played music the whole time I was there.
Wow.
So yeah, I've definitely taken the scenic route, I guess we'll say.
That is, I mean, I on my bucket list is Scotland and Ireland. I've been to Europe and I've been to England and all that, but I definitely want to go to Scotland and Ireland. Those are two of my.
Oh, sorry, my doggy's going crazy here for a second. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Well, my apologies.
Oh, they're good. Don't worry.
My
I have a dog too.
apologies. Yeah. Well, I don't want to interrupt here, but I'm gonna. Do you mind if I do something with him really quick?
Go
I'll
right
be
ahead.
right back.
It's all good.
My apologies here.
Oh, all good.
Yeah, well, Jack Russell, and if he hears a shadow, he thinks he's got
yeah.
to.
Check
But
it out.
yeah, well, I love Scotland. I have a good friend actually that I met in Nashville many years ago that lives in Scotland, and so I've spent some time over there with him and his wife. And actually, my husband and I just went back in November and visited them again. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you love Scotland, huh?
I like it. It's cold this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's really cozy. It's a beautiful country, and
Oh, man.
just dress appropriately and you'll be fine.
Did you play music while you were there, or listen to a lot of their musicians?
I did play. Like I said, my friend that lives there, he's a musician himself, and so I kind of played, with him on one of his gigs at this palace. So it wasn't too shabby.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Did you so as far as traveling the world and going to did you live in the Dominican at all, or is that just a
No, that was just a vacation, just a little vacation,
okay.
but it definitely it's the thing that started my kind of travel bug. And so I credit that trip for all of my other travels.
I've been to the Dominican twice. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, the Caribbean, like down there, it's just the water is just so beautiful.
It is. And
It's really hard to beat that.
Culture, the people, just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So getting on into the music, did you grow up as a aspiring someone to be in that industry, or was it something that developed later on?
So it's definitely something that it's just always been a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that I've almost at times tried to, not to say run away from it
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, but kind of, because it's just always been part of my identity
Oh yeah.
and who I am. But I think
Mm-hmm.
the older I get, I'm embracing that now,
Oh yeah.
and I'm really thankful for that. But I've got a picture on my music wall in here in my music room, and it's a picture of me when I'm about 3 years old, and
Uh-huh.
I'm standing in my grandfather's basement, and I've got on like this headphone, and I'm holding the mic there, and that was like some of my earliest memories, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's just always been a part of me, very deeply instilled. And all my grandparents, my mom, my dad, they all wrote music,
Mm.
and sang music and performed music. So it's just something that, like I said, it's just always been a part of who I am.
What was playing in the background growing up? What was the
Ooh.
music in your house?
Well, my first concert was Emmylou Harris.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, in 1985.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
so my dad, you said that you're from, you've spent some time in North Georgia. There was a
Oh yeah.
little thing called Concerts in the Country back
Oh,
in the day. And
Lanierland.
yeah,
I went all the time. I've seen so many shows there.
yeah, me too.
It's
So
awesome.
yeah, my dad, that was a regular thing for us. That's
Yeah.
we just went
Oh
to see
wow.
so
Oh
many
goodness.
legends now.
You're not kidding. Oh man, that is so funny that you brought that up. I wish they still had it. The closest thing is Hiawassee, the Georgia Mountain Fairgrounds at the Anderson
Yep,
Music Hall. Yep, I go there a
yep.
lot because I'm right down the road. But Concerts in the Country, Lanierland, for those of you listening, was a incredible venue. It was covered, but it was the sides were open.
Hmm.
It's like salt. Well, was it
Sawdust floor. Yeah,
sawdust
it really
floors? Yeah,
was. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Couple thousand people, probably maybe more. But I saw Patty Loveless, Charlie Pride, Diamond
Yep.
Rio, Tanya Tucker, Black Hawk, David Lee Murphy.
Oh yeah. We
So
were
many.
probably at some of the same
No
concerts.
doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt. And
The
so that's,
Judds, Reba, you name it.
oh, no, I did not get to see either one of those there. So you did see the
Oh,
Judds?
I did. Yeah, I saw
Oh,
them twice there. Yeah.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Man,
They
wow.
were definitely my heroes growing up,
Oh, I bet. I
Talk
bet.
about a soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were the soundtrack in my growing up too.
Yeah.
It's I went and seen I've seen Winona several times, and I went to the Judds, the final tour. Naomi,
Oh,
after Naomi
yeah.
had passed away, she decided to go
Yeah.
through with it. So we went to Atlanta and saw Winona, and her guest that night was Little Big Town. So they filled in a
Oh,
lot of,
cool.
yeah, yeah. So it was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Um, Emmylou Harris, the Judds, anyone else?
You name it. Randy Travis.
Oh yeah.
Patsy Cline, Elvis. I
Oh
liked.
wow.
Yeah, I liked all kinds of music, and like I was raised in you know church. Like gospel
Mm-hmm.
was definitely deep seated, in me.
Yeah.
So kind of like that Southern gospel, but also
Mm-hmm.
bluegrass. My grandfather loved the blues and jazz, and so he had
Mm.
all the old vinyls, Louis
Oh wow.
Armstrong, and so I really feel like I got a very diverse, music exposure.
Yeah.
So I'm really thankful for that. And then, I definitely even went through my pop phase in middle school,
Oh
Mariah
yeah.
Carey and Celine Dion. I went through a Beatles phase. I listened to only the Beatles for an entire year. It was like eighth
Oh
grade.
wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, I know. So I love good music,
Oh,
and
that's
and
awesome.
I've always been drawn to, like, I just remember the lyrics, like I
Mm.
remember fifth, sixth, seventh grade. I just loved getting, a new record and
Oh
opening
yeah.
it up, reading the liner notes and reading, just
Yes.
poring over every single word. That was the best.
That is exactly how I was.
Yeah.
Just oh yeah, passionate about it. I'd read everything about the inside the CD or
Yeah.
tape. Uh,
Yeah, that's right.
It's just, oh wow.
Yeah.
Man, the
Kids, kids miss,
pictures.
kids miss out on that these days.
Oh, of course they do. Oh, it's just such a different animal. Oh
It
my
really is.
goodness. Yeah. Um, who all have you worked with before? Like, anyone in particular that you worked with when you first started, or?
Well, one of the most surreal things when I first moved to Nashville, um, I don't even know how I met him, but I met Harley Allen, and Harley, was a very well-known songwriter
Mm-hmm.
and Grammy award-winning songwriter, written many songs that we know and love, and I just again, don't ask me where I met him, but we just kind of like
Yeah.
came into passing, and when he heard me sing, he hired me to do some demo work for him.
Oh
And
wow.
I remember one day I got a call, and of course I had just moved to Nashville, so I wasn't there 6 months.
Oh
And
cool.
yeah, and I get a call, and he's like, "Hey, Charlsey, me and my friend Steve have been working on this song today, but we really need a girl to demo it. Can you come over?" And I go to his house, and Steve Wariner walks out the back door.
Yeah.
And so I'm like pinching myself,
That is so cool. That's really cool.
like, yeah. And so I became friends with them, did some studio
Yeah.
work with them, but also wrote a little bit with Harley too. And,
Mm.
you know, I feel like that was a really, really, I mean, Harley was, he's not the most reputable, person as far as, don't want to get in trouble here, but, he's some of these writer dudes, they can be little scoundrels, right? We'll
Right. Yeah.
say, but
Yeah.
but a brilliant writer. And so, you tolerate what you can and kind of push past all the,
Mm-hmm.
other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and really realize what a real treat it was and a gift that I
Mm.
had that time with him,
Mm-hmm.
in my early days in Nashville, and to really just to learn just the art and craft of songwriting. And he really says something, I've said it on other interviews before, but he told me, he said, "Charlesy, the fame of stardom, all that,
Mm-hmm.
will come and go, but you can always write."
Oh wow.
And yeah, and so like I've held on to that
Mm-hmm.
through the past 20 years.
Mm.
And I think that little bit of advice has definitely helped me kind of stay the course.
Oh, I love that advice.
Yeah,
You can always write.
can always write, no
Mm.
matter what.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. When you write songs, are you do you like to co-write, or do you like to do it by yourself, or or do both of them have their advantages and cons and pros?
absolutely, I do feel, you know, I, I do feel like there are pros and cons to each.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I write alone,
Yeah.
I'm much less inhibited.
Mm.
I don't filter myself as much, which I think is a really good thing when you
Mm-hmm.
write,
Yeah.
because you need to just kind of let that stream of consciousness go.
Yeah.
um, but so whereas if you're in the room with somebody, I think our ego and our mind starts, we better not say that.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to think about this and that?
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think the older I get, I try to just kind of move past that a little bit, and
Yeah.
obviously some writing rooms are more open to
Right.
that than others.
Mm.
So I am selective, I guess I'll say, in who I write with.
Right.
And I really feel like we need to have a good vibe, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Oh yeah.
I think that's just so important, and not even just people I write with, but people I go into the studio with,
Mm-hmm.
people I record with,
Mm-hmm.
mix engineers. I mean, the whole crew. It's like if we're not vibing on some level, then I try to rethink, what I'm doing in that moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's got to be magic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's got to be a
And that
chemistry.
and that comfort, just that
Yeah.
comfort just to be yourself,
Oh yeah.
your
Mm-hmm.
creative self.
Right.
So I do like to write a lot on my own. A lot of it's out of necessity too.
Mm.
You know, just, well, we're here, I'm here, so I might
Yeah.
as well just write.
Yeah.
But I think given, you know, the right opportunity, co-writing has a lot of advantages, and they, you know, co-writes are always um, interesting because the songs will go in a different way than you ever thought, you know, possible, just because, well, somebody said
Oh
this, and
yeah.
then they spurred, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
started you thinking about this and that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all good, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's all a
Yeah.
creative process, and interesting and good.
That, yeah. Oh yeah. I like hearing what people's takes are on solo writing or co-writing, but that's pretty cool. And you have a new album out from released last year, Scars of Mine.
Yes,
Tell me
Scars of
how
Mine.
that came together.
So, oof, man, Scars of Mine is really an album that came majorly out of my Nashville days. You
Mm.
know, I say my Nashville days. I'm still in Nashville. I still am there quite often, and
Yeah, you're not far at all. It's
I'm
just,
not
yeah.
far, and I'm up there all the time. I consider it a home away from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's still very much a part of my fabric, right?
Right.
But I'd say those earlier years when I was, like, you know, paying the dues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of those songs um, have been written for a while, but
Mm.
just now made their way, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
And songs do that all the time, you
Uh-huh.
know.
Yeah.
And so now some of them, like the title track, "Scars of Mine," I actually did write that when I moved back to Georgia.
Mm.
So that's one of the most recent ones on the record, and that song was written about my grandmother. And I was living about 2 miles from her when I
Mm-hmm.
wrote that at the time. And it's about her childhood and a lot of the things that she, you know, just kind of had to deal with
Yeah.
growing up in the Deep South. She was from
Mm-hmm.
Augusta, Georgia, and the daughter of a sharecropper and bootlegger, and one of
Mm-hmm.
9 children.
Oh
And
wow.
so, yeah, she overcame a whole lot.
Mm.
And so that story was based on stories that she would tell me when I was growing up. She was a great storyteller. She was also a singer and, you know, songwriter. So she was a huge influence on me. And oddly enough, though, she passed before she ever heard the song.
Oh
Very unexpectedly.
yeah.
She was, you know, good health, and then a Sunday after church, she had an aortic valve
Mm.
rupture, and a week later, she was gone.
And now,
So
was she in Dalton? Did she live? Had she moved to Dalton years ago? And is that
So
or
she
that
did.
area?
She moved to North Georgia in
Oh, okay.
her teen years.
Oh, okay.
Um, right. So her and my grandfather, they started their family in North
Mm-hmm.
Georgia in Murray County, so very
Oh
close to
yeah.
LJ,
Yeah.
Georgia. That's where,
Chatsworth.
yeah, Chatsworth. That's right, Murray County. So that's where a lot of my family is
Okay.
from, and that's where I
Yeah.
went to church at, you know,
Yeah.
the foot of Fort Mountain over there.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah,
Yeah. I know all these places. It's
yeah.
so crazy. Oh yeah. Um.
It's a beautiful
Mm-mm-mm.
place. It's a beautiful place.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I
It
love it.
really is.
Yeah. Beautiful country.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I used to go hiking a lot over at Jack's River,
Yeah.
Cohota Wilderness, all that good
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever want to see black bear, it's a good place to go. Or Fort Mountain State Park. There's a lot of black bear up there.
That's true. That's true. But
Oh,
just don't leave your garbage unattended.
right?
Uh, just a couple months ago, my aunt was at my grandfather's house,
Yeah.
literally, because he lives at the foot of Fort Mountain.
Uh huh.
She forgot to take trash out of her car. The next morning, she woke up. It was completely ransacked. A
Oh
black bear
wow.
had gotten in
Oh, I
her
believe it.
car.
I believe it. Oh man. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's
Oh
country around
jeez.
here. It's country around here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I understand. Just I mean, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love
No,
that.
me either.
Yeah. Um.
Me either.
Any other songs stand out to you on Scars of Mine?
Um, you know,
All of
I
them.
love all the, yeah. I mean, they're all my little children.
Yeah.
But circling back to Scotland, which we mentioned at the very first of
Oh yeah.
the episode, one of the songs on Scars of Mine, "Back to You," was actually written in Scotland
Oh
on my
wow.
travels. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's awesome.
I was introduced to a singer-songwriter couple, David and Yvonne Lyon, and
From Scotland?
from Scotland. Yeah.
Oh
So if
wow.
my friend was also their friend, so he introduced us and just basically was like, "You guys need to get together, play some music," and we
That's
did.
awesome.
Yeah, and we just sat down one day, and "Back to You" was the
Mm-hmm.
song that came out of that session,
Oh wow.
and
That's a
it
cool
is
memory.
probably it's probably one of my favorites on the record. It really is. It's a very raw and emotional, vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
um, track, and I think it really symbolized where I was, that kind of leaving Nashville, kind of searching. And it's largely, it sounds like a love song. It was kind of written as a love song,
Mm-hmm.
but to me, the song is like kind of finding my way back to me
Oh yeah.
at the end of the day. So it's kind of evolved since I've written it, and it is definitely one of my favorites.
Oh, that's cool. I love hearing those stories. So cool. Um, so do you have any plans for 24 to just keep writing or recording or playing out any?
Yeah, all of the above. We've already been back in the studio. We started in October
Oh, okay.
2023, getting back at it. So we've got a few that may be coming to surface soon.
Yeah.
Um, so a few singles anyway,
Yeah.
and then hopes, for a full project after that. But we're still in the studio working. Pat Bergeson is still working with me as
Mm.
producer on that and guitar player. He's just a great human being and a great musician. I'm very thankful to have him, on my team. And so we've got a new uh, single going to radio soon, doing "Wrong Feel Right" off of "Scars of Mine." So
Nice.
that'll be coming in the next week or two. And so yeah, so writing, and working on more engagements for listening rooms. That's kind of my
Mm-hmm.
bag.
Oh
I
yeah.
I'm not a really loud bar crowd type of gal,
Oh yeah.
but I
Yeah.
love singer-songwriter events, and so that's
Oh
what we're kind
yeah.
of focusing on
Some
for this
writers
year.
rounds.
Yeah, yeah, and actual, writer event type things,
Oh, sweet. Okay.
too.
Yeah.
So yeah. So hopefully I'll be headed out there you know, near some listeners soon.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love songwriter events where people can just come and actually sit and listen to the stories behind the songs and hear fresh music.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
that's awesome. There's some really cool venues in Nashville that do that. I guess just about every
Oh, a
night.
few, right?
Just a few.
Just a few. Just a few.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Um, I do want to let our listeners know about this. So, you had a Christmas EP
yes.
that came out, and was that 21 or
21,
20?
22,
20. Okay.
something like that.
And Jack Pearson, I saw, was part of this recording.
Hmm.
Tell our listeners the. I mean, to me, that's a pretty big deal. So,
Yeah.
tell us who Jack Pearson is.
So Jack Pearson is a former member of the Allman Brothers Band. So
Mm-hmm.
probably most people in these parts, at least, know who that is. So he was in the Allman Brothers Band in the '90s, but
Mm-hmm.
has collaborated with Derek Trucks and you know all those guys right
That's
in that
great.
circle.
Yeah.
And but he's also in the Nashville scene. I remember, again, upon first moving to Nashville, a friend of mine was like, man, you got to go hear Jack Pearson play guitar. And this is like all the guys that want to play guitar, this is who they go listen to. And so
Yeah.
I met Jack relatively early on
Oh, wow.
as well. I feel like I was educated pretty well when I
think
first
you
moved to
were.
Nashville.
Man, him, Steve Wariner. Oh, my goodness. It's pretty good.
So yeah, no. So I met Jack, and then many years later, I was listening to him at Third and Lindsley. I would always go when he would play there,
Yeah.
quite often. And I had gotten a resonator guitar for Christmas, and it's actually hanging right there, that gold tone on my wall.
Yes.
And but I didn't know how to play it. I just knew I liked it, but I
Right.
didn't know how to play it. And so I was like, I bet Jack could recommend somebody to teach me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he was like, "Well, I'll teach you." And I'm like, I don't know about that because I really don't know what I'm doing. But he was very patient, and we became friends. And I did some demo work for him. We wrote together some too. I started doing a lot of background vocals for him in live shows. And then we just kind of sat down one day in his home studio and just kind of did this Christmas EP. Just
That's
literally one mic. It was him on guitar and me on vocals. And we just sat down, and I don't, it doesn't get much better than that. And
that's pretty cool.
Jack is such an intuitive player. I mean, I was made better by my time working with him. That's for sure. Yeah. I don't think you can help but to, be prodded along a little bit. But I'm thankful for that time too.
Oh, you should be. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. When I saw that earlier, I thought, wow, I mean, that's a big deal. So anyway, Charlsey Etheridge, where can people, besides, they can stream your music, I guess, anywhere, right? Whatever platform.
Whatever major platform they like to stream. Yeah, all those, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all this, YouTube. We do have a couple lyric videos out on YouTube. And at my website, charlseyetheridge.com. That's really an easy way to find me. All socials. Facebook and Instagram, and I'm very slow to the TikTok trend, but my stepdaughter has told me that I've got to get with my game.
Yeah. It's I just don't put time into it, and I should, but
I know.
Anyway,
maybe I'll hire her this summer to take over my TikTok account.
Well, we'll also we'll put all your information when we put out the episode, and we'll put all your links and all that good stuff. And
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I believe that you have a passion and a heart for music, and I can tell it just from talking to you for the past 30 minutes. But it's definitely been a pleasure, and I'm so glad Claire hooked us up.
Me too.
Today.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah, you're so welcome.
And maybe we'll cross paths in North Georgia sometime.
I know. If there's ever a good singer-songwriter event that's in that area, or when I'm in Nashville quite a bit now, so maybe I'll get to come by and check it out.
Absolutely.
All right, Charlsey, thank you so much for being on Throwback Country, and we really appreciate it, and I wish you nothing but the best. And when the new record comes out, we'll have you back on. Claire, I'm sure, will be in touch with me about that. So
I really appreciate that.
All right, well, many blessings to you, and I'll see you soon.
All right, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Singing those songs, living our lives. whole town cried the day Nolan died. We sang to dance at his last goodbye. And up the river, his vessel will sail on, just to relive all our glory days, singing those songs, all the noise we made that summer. I wanna ride around those tracks again. Yeah, we never went down until the sun came up. Papa loved Mama blasting in my truck. I was calling Baton Rouge. Shameless, it never got old. I still hear that thunder roll. It's where I've been, it's made me who I am. Somebody play me those songs again. We were walking the beaches of Cheyenne, standing outside the fire. I'm still thankful for my unanswered prayers, looking in another's eyes. Yeah, we ain't going down until the sun comes up. Papa loved Mama blasting in my truck. And I'm still calling Baton Rouge. Shameless, it'll never get old. I still hear that thunder roll. It's where I've been, it's made me who I am. Somebody play me those songs again. If tomorrow never comes, I wonder what she's doing now.